So we're going to look at the Sukup burner board. This is the old style. We're going to look at the old style and the new style. We're going to look at the wiring diagrams. So I guess to start with, let's look at the wiring diagrams. Let's look at the wiring diagrams on how it's supposed to be wired, how it's supposed to work. We have our power coming in here, fuse, we have our toggle switch, go to terminal 4, we have our vapor high limit if it's a propane burner, we have our housing high limit, transition high limit, and then we go to 7, and 7 connects to 7 on the board. And then 7 also, if you have a thermostat, 7 also goes to the thermostat, and then to 8 on the board. The thermostat would turn the power on and off to 8. Then the lamp would connect to terminal 7 and the lamp terminal, and your number 2 terminals would both connect to neutral and to the one side of your gas valves, your vapor solenoids, one, possibly a second if you have a high-low, your liquid solenoid, the one side of your spark transformer. Then you have your sensor, goes to your flame sensor in the flame. Your C goes to the chassis, to the frame. That's your common, your ground, burner ground, it's called on some burner control units. So on here, this is how you would troubleshoot. You'd check from your L2 to your PAR, after your fuse, terminal 4, terminal 5, 6, 7, right through, troubleshoot, make sure you have power on 7 and 8. When you power 7, it starts your purge time. Your purge time goes for about 15 to 20 seconds. And then if you have 110 voltage on terminal 8, you will get spark and you will get gas. You will get power on 9 and 10. 9 will have power for a short time to power your ignition transformer during ignition, and then it will turn off, and 10 will stay on to keep your burner running. If you disconnect 8, your lamp will stay lit and your burner will turn off. Gas valves and ignition will turn off, but your light will stay lit if you disconnect terminal 8. If you reconnect terminal 8 to 7, it will instantly turn the gas valves on. There's no purge time. That is your thermostat signal that goes to terminal 8. Now, if you're running the burner with a mod valve, you will not have a thermostat. You will just have a jumper wire from 8 to 7 if you're running with a mod valve. Okay, with that said, let's look at the actual boards. That can be somewhat complicated. Let's look at the actual boards and see what we're actually working at. We're going to start off with the old style burner board. And this is the way it's normally mounted in the side of the box, either this way or sometimes vertical. But we're gonna start this way because this is how fan heaters have them. But this same board is used in fan heaters, portable dryers, mixed flow dryers. All of their grain dryers use this style burner control, except for tower dryers. Tower dryers are the only thing that use a different burner control. They use a Siemens. So here on this end, we have these two spades. We have a terminal 2 and a lamp. The lamp would hook to the one side of the lamp. The other side of the lamp would hook to your incoming power on 7. 2 would go to neutral. Come across here, we have 10. 10 is your outgoing voltage to power the gas valves. That would power the gas valves. Terminal 9 would power your ignition transformer. 2 would again go to the neutral, terminal 2. Terminal 2 here and 2 here are both just connected to the neutral, incoming neutral. 8 is your thermostat power, where the thermostat turns the power off and on to terminal 8. 7 is your main power. When you put power to 7, purge time starts. If you put power to both of these at the same time, the purge time will start, and when the purge time is up, you get voltage out on 9 and 10. If you put power to 7 and not to 8 and let your purge time complete, then when you put power to 8, it will instantly power 9 and 10. So this board is fairly universal because of the way that's controlled. I've used this board for a few different applications. Come over here, we have common right here. That is the terminal that would connect to burner ground. I would normally connect that in the bottom of the box and then have a wire from there going down to your burner to ground your actual burner. Right here, you have your S terminal on this board. That is your flame sensor. So, and now in the recent past here, Sukup has done away with that board and came out with a new version. This board right here. So now if we look at this new board, this is an update kit. It has all the wires hanging off of it here. But we're just going to go over this. This board is the same. It works all the same. It's just a much smaller board. It still works the same way. In here, we have the S terminal, which is your flame sensor, your C terminal, which is your burner ground, housing ground, your 2, which is neutral, lamp goes to the neutral side of the lamp, the other side of your lamp would connect to 7, 9, which is your ignition transformer, 10, which is your gas valves, 8 is from your thermostat. It would be 110 voltage from the thermostat. The thermostat would turn 8 on and off if you have a thermostat or a humidistat. 2 is neutral, and then 7 is your main power. When you turn that on when you turn your burner on, and that starts your purge time and burner ready to run. Now, this board here works the same as most flame rectification boards. When you put electric on 7 and 8, it waits a preset amount of time, about 20 seconds, and then it puts 110 voltage out 9 and 10. After a preset amount of time for ignition, number 9 turns off, and 10, if it starts sensing flame on S, it will leave 10 on so the burner continues to run. If it does not sense flame, it will turn off the burner and lock out. To retry the burner, you turn the power switch off and back on, which turns power off to 7 and 8, and it retries. If your burner shuts off and all you do is turn the power off and back on, and your burner lights and runs, that is a flame sensing issue. The only thing that turns the burner off with this board is if you take the 110 voltage away from 8 or 7, or if a flame sensing issue. If the S wire, the flame sensor wire, gets shorted out to ground, it will turn off the gas. If it does not sense flame, it will turn off the gas. So if your burner board is turning off the gas while you have 110 voltage on 7 and 8 and neutral on the 2, then you have a flame sense issue. These boards are very durable. They're some of the most durable burner boards I have ever worked with. But they occasionally go bad. Sometimes they'll do odd things, but there is only one thing they do, and that is monitor the flame. That's all they do, is monitor the flame. All your other safeties are wired in series ahead of it or connected into a PLC and a dryer. This board monitors flame. So it puts electric into a rod that sticks in the burner, and when the flame touches the rod, it draws amps from the rod to the ground, and the board monitors the milliamps of draw. I believe it's milliamps. On the voltage tester, it's UA. Now, there are burners, depending on the burner design, you can add 2 flame sensors to get it so it senses flame better. Now, I have done that. Depending on the burner style, you can get too much flame sensing if you have 2 or 3 flame sensors, and then it can shut off saying we're shorted out.